Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland. It is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And this is the 600th episode. So I've decided to basically do a live recording, which is what I'm doing. So hey, I'm just sharing it now on the different pages. So if you would like to participate, become part of, interact, then please do. Please do. And if you'd like to say hello, then please say hello, and I should say hello back to you. And that's really cool. Yeah. So I can see myself on Facebook. And so there you go. Hello. Hello, everybody. Got me glasses. In fact, what I'm going to do is change my glasses to me proper. These are my glasses that I wear for podcasts. It's no different. Absolutely the same, aren't they, really? But these ones are a little bit more straight. A bit straighter. So as you can see, I've got my microphone here. I am recording this for my podcast as well. So that will be uploaded once edited later on. And in the meantime, I'm going to be... So I don't know. Facebook is saying it's having trouble playing it. So I hope not, but if it is, then sorry about that. Not a lot I can do. Yeah, that would be annoying because I'd quite like to have recorded it and put it onto my YouTube channel. But if not, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, unless I, wow, unless I recorded it. Hi, John. John says hello, hi. Unless I videoed it on my tablet as well. But that's it's a bit late to set that up. That's confusing. Imagine recording on the iPad, the audio, recording live on the iPhone, and then having a tablet to record the video so I can put it on YouTube. Rachel says hi. Hi, Rachel. Hi. And you may say, well, you got so many different tablets and things to... Well, it's hard. I can't... Well, I guess there may be a way of doing it, but to do everything on one thing is fairly hard for me. Especially, oh yeah, there seems to be a bit of a lag. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close that. It seems to be a little bit of a lag of the live streaming. I don't know if you're noticing that, those that are watching. Is it buffering? It shouldn't, not really. It should work fine. I'm using what I've got. Who's laughing? Who are you laughing for? I'm using the internet off the phone. So because my broadband keeps cutting off, I'm in contract with them, and it does work, but it keeps when I try to upload things, it doesn't work very well. And I'm spending quite a bit of time on that. And when I'm doing that, I can't use the internet for anything else. So yesterday, I called up my mobile phone place that I get. I've had a pay-as-you-go contract thing. It's not a contract, but pay-as-you-go monthly. So I phoned them up and I said, have you got any unlimited data contracts? And they said, yep. And they gave me a discount. So I've now on my mobile phone, they switched over to a new contract instantly. Unlimited phone calls and texts and stuff. It doesn't really affect me because I don't make many phone calls, and I'm not really a texter. I don't like ongoing conversations that go on for ages and ages. So the unlimited data means that I can use the phone as a hotspot for my tablet, as well as uploading stuff on the actual phone as well. So I was using it yesterday, and it, apart from one little blimp, it works perfectly, and is probably quicker than the broadband. It also means I can use the internet, the broadband internet, for other stuff at the same time as things are being uploaded. And I spend probably a good couple of hours a day uploading. So it's quite a lot of time where it's leaving me not being able to do other things. So I can watch YouTube videos, or I can use the PC or the tablet and do other work at the same time as that being uploaded, because the broadband takes every single bit of energy when it's uploading or downloading even as well. So it's an extra expense, but for the time it's saving me, and to be able to do this properly, you know. I look like I haven't got a head. I'm going to sit back a bit. Oh, I've got this top on. I'll just realise, look. Oh, I'm taking this off. I can't believe it. I spilt some breakfast on my top. It's embarrassing. Oh yeah, could do a bath. There you go. Why didn't anyone tell me? I had this little spot of Weetabix on the top of my top. Terrible, absolutely terrible. I would probably prefer to do this live on YouTube, but I'm not able to, because you have to have a certain amount of subscribers and stuff in order to broadcast live on YouTube. I used to be able to broadcast live with previous channels, but as I'm only just beginning to put some effort into the YouTube channel, literally the last week or so, and it'll take a while to get those subscribers up. 530, so you know, it's not a lot of people, but you know, hopefully by asking people to subscribe and letting people who listen to the podcast know that I also do videos, they may want to go onto the YouTube channel and subscribe. Carol says hi there. Hi Carol. Hi. If anyone's been watching from the beginning of this broadcast, can you tell me if it's cut out at all? Because it might just be my end. and it might be a case of the reason it was cutting out is because I was using all my internet on the phone to broadcast, and therefore I wasn't able to use the internet on the tablet, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Yeah. What's the use of a broken dream? So good. Okay, excellent. So it's working your end, Carol. What I could do, actually, to be fair, I don't know why I didn't do this to start with. If I just change the Wi-Fi to my normal Sky, yeah. So I've taken it off of the hotspot, my phone, which means if I go onto my Facebook page, it should work fine because it's using a different internet. Blimey. So I'm going to play it. Oops. Right, I'll just turn the volume off. That's just weird. Imagine listening to me. Well, you're listening to me, aren't you? But listening to me, you know, from both angles. Rachel, you were buffering there. Oh, great. Now I'm depressed. Cheers, Rachel. Thanks. Well, I'll keep trying it. If it keeps buffering, then I'll stop. Because, Carol, I hope I don't fall asleep. You might do, as long as you're not driving or operating machinery. I've got to move back every now and then just to let you see that I do have a head top. Or head top of a head. Also, don't forget, sometimes if it's buffering, it might be your end. But as it was buffering my end as well, it probably is my end. But let's stop talking about each other's ends, shall we? Seems to be working now. I think maybe the reason it was buffering is because I was trying to... Oh, great. It's literally just cut off. In which case, I'm going to end the recording because it keeps cutting off. And there's no point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this and I'm going to start again. I'm going to do I'll make a video. You can still see me. I know, Rachel, but it just cut off, and it's going to keep doing it. There's no reason why it's going to keep doing it. So there's no point. I'm going to end this recording. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to start again. Of course, you can't interact with me live, which is a shame because I was hoping I'd be able to do that, and I'm not sure why. I really don't know why it's doing this. Yeah, sorry about that. Please don't. I'm going, so that's it. So I'm gonna... I can try and stay, I suppose. Rachel, I can try and stay. If it does keep like cutting out and buffering, I will end it. It's dramatic, isn't it? But I suppose the main thing is I'm live now for those that are here, and also I'll get rid of Facebook. I'm also recording the podcast as well. So I'm not gonna lose. You break my heart. Okay, Rachel, I won't break your heart. I'll stay, I promise. Live is better. Thank you. Carol, I just, you know, if it on my end, it was saying that the connection was lost. I had a big sign came on the phone. So it's just strange. But I've disconnected the internet on the other thing. But anyway, I'll just continue. If it cuts off, it cuts off. The podcast will be complete. So if it goes quiet, hi Zoe. Didn't you sent me a message, didn't you? I think earlier. If it does cut off and you want to know what I've said, the podcast will be up and running as soon as I finish this. Usually within about half hour, an hour, it should be up and running. I've got to edit it and everything, but there's usually, as the quality of the sound has improved, the editing process is quicker, which is good. When I was using the lapel microphones, sometimes it took me like an hour to edit an hour-long recording. Now, with the sound quality, there's just less bumping and less, Carol says, but my voice is so calming. Thank you. It's another word for boring, isn't it? Your voice is so calming. My plan. So I've got the internet. So although it's clearly not worked very well for the live, relaxing, thank you. Rachel likes boring. That's why you like me so much, Rachel, because I'm Mr. Boring, aren't I? So I've got the extra internet now, so I can upload, even though it's not very good for live broadcasts for whatever reason. The only problem, I guess, with mobile phone internet is it can be affected by the atmosphere, by the weather and all that stuff, isn't it? Because it's satellite. With the broadband internet, it's more stable. At least it should be. Hi Ash. But it's not very stable here. And I know it's having two broadbands, I shouldn't really need them. But it's quite handy to have two, because I can now take this anywhere I go and upload stuff. Where's my boy? He's asleep. Do you want me to wake him up? He won't be happy. He might just stay asleep in my arms, actually. See, you're bored with me already. I've only been on here 10 minutes and now you just want to see Andre. Oh, Carol wants him as well. No one wants me. It's all about him, innit? All about him. Here we go. Here we are. See, he's already asleep, so... Is your audio being picked up by that mic alone? This mic isn't picking up the audio for the phone. The phone is just picking up the audio on its own. Oh, the microphone is picking up the audio for the podcast. So the podcast is better quality audio than the phone. Does that make sense? So although I've got this microphone here, this is for down there's the tablet, the iPad, and all the connections and everything for the podcast. And on the screen, I'm using an app which records the podcast, which records what I'm saying. Hi Carol, listening from Scotland. Hi, how you doing? Welcome. The microphone inside an iPhone is a bit rubbish. I even went as far as to buy a microphone. Ash says, yeah, which phone are you using then? Oh, it's an iPhone. Is it iPhone 12, whatever the latest? Actually, they bring one out every 2 weeks, don't they? So whatever was the latest last summer. So I don't know what the latest is now, but I think it's an iPhone 12 I've got. And I bought a microphone, but doesn't really work very well with the phone like it's supposed to. I've got the internal microphone. Thanks, Ash. Ash says, I think it sounds good. Well, I've been researching how to increase the sound and everything like that. I watched some YouTube videos and I've come up with, I think, a solution. Because it's an issue with people that use iPhones for videos. And the quality, not the quality, the loudness. It's not so much the quality of the sound, although I made a video earlier and there was a little bit of hissing, kind of background sound. You alright? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Did you see that? Now licking himself. It was out a bit loud, I might have to edit that out. I'm not using an app to make the video. Andre? Are you alright, baby? Sorry, I'm just... That was a weird sound. It's like he was struggling to breathe or something. Andre, you okay? Now he's playing with some plastic on the... Mate, are you alright? I don't like that. Yeah, I'm thinking it might have been a sneeze that he couldn't get out. Anyway, I was worried then for a bit, but then he forgets it as soon as it happens. Yeah, he actually does definitely need looking after sometimes, but in the same way, sometimes he's ill, like throw up, and he doesn't care afterwards. It's just done. Like me, I'd have to write a poem about it or something. It'd affect me emotionally. But him, nothing. Don't care. But at the moment it affects him, he's like, you know, but then nothing. But I went to the garage last year, and I think he was drinking. I think one of the anti-ice tub things that they sell might have spilt, and he had a drink of one of them off the ground, thinking it was water. Hairballs. Well, I don't think they, mind you. He does lick himself, so I guess there's a chance of hairballs, but I've had him 5 years now and he's never had a hairball that I know of. He's never really, that's the first time I can't remember the last time he did what he just did then. That was like really didn't know what he was doing. But yeah, he had this. He licked whatever it was he was drinking. I wasn't watching him. He was just on his lead, and I was distracted by something else. Floating tractor or something, and then he projectile vomited like a proper, really. Never seen him do it before. It was like some kind of animation or like in a comedy film. So straight away I'm in panic mode. I pick him up and I start banging on the window of the garage saying, "What's down there? What's down there? What have you spilled down there?" And no one would come out. But I was sort of saying, I want to know what it is that he's just drunk. But to be fair, I don't think anyone understood what I was saying. So it's, there you go. But he was good as gold. It's, 5 minutes later, nothing. Antifreeze, yeah. I think it might not have been, but it might have been. It was something that immediately caused him to... It was like The Exorcist. It was like The Exorcist, but not quite as funny. Yeah. Yeah. I only got 6 people. You wouldn't believe that thousands and thousands of people listen to me every day, and only 6 people are on my live feed. It's not fair. I don't feel like a superstar at all. Now it's 7. Hey, hi, Mrs. Scarfo. How are you doing? Nice to see you. At least his gab reflux works well. Less worrying on your part. Yeah. Heidi says it's not fair. What a shame. What's that? Oh yeah. So, forgot I was talking about. Heidi, Jenny. Wow, I didn't even know Jenny and Heidi. Hello. Yeah, but think about it. I've got the best people here, haven't I? That's the point. The best of the crop, the cream of the crop are on the live one. Carol says, how he get on with his leg before? Ah, blimey, that's going back, isn't it? And you're so good looking. So what? Who says that? Heidi, and you are so good looking. So why don't what? Heidi, that's it. Good, me and you. Text me later. Thank you. Rachel, definitely. Boston Chickie is in the house. Right, about his leg. He had, but he had a bad leg and he couldn't even stand up to go to the toilet. It was really, it was bad. Took him to the doctors or to the vets. They gave him an x-ray. No, they examined him. I wasn't allowed into the vets. Boston says, hi Joe, I'm on my break. Hi. I'm just telling the leg story about Andre when he hurt his leg. Someone asked me about you, Boston. I can't remember who it was. Someone said, how's Boston Chickie doing? And it was I think it's probably someone that read my post or listened to something I'd said about you, but they might actually be on here now listening. I'm not sure. But with his leg, he had examination. Then he had to go back. It was Heidi. Boston Chickie, Heidi was asking after you. Sorry, Heidi, I lose track. I try and keep track, but I get it. I've got no excuse. So good to see you, Boston Chickie. Heidi says so. I hope that you can see what's being written. Oh, good. He then had an x-ray on his leg, and when he came out of the X-ray, when I went to collect him, the X-ray, basically he had a abreaction to the sedative, like a really, really bad reaction to the sedative. And when I picked him up, 6 hours after I dropped him off, he was just slumped there, just staring at me. And the vet said that he'd been trying to bite them and everything, like earlier on. So I'm thinking that they over-sedated him because of him biting. Now, he was probably biting because I wasn't allowed in. He's never been apart from me, really. And he was scared, I guess. He's probably scared. And it's his natural defence. If you pick him up, he doesn't know who you are, he'll bite you. He's not, he's not used to being, he's a daddy's boy, and it's, I don't know, but I wish I'd been there because it wouldn't have happened. Because firstly, he'd behave himself, and secondly, they wouldn't over-sedate him. And I was wondering if they were a bit rough with him, which is why, because he bites me if I'm rough with him. I'm generally not rough with him, but occasionally I've accidentally kind of been a little bit rough, and he'll bite me. It's a warning. It's like, behave, watch yourself. And if he really bit them, they would be in the A&E, in a hospital, getting stitches and a tetanus, because he's not, they bite hard. So he might have snapped, but he wouldn't have actually bitten. Anyway, I'm wondering if they gave him too much sedation to shut him up and to keep him quiet, to stop him from biting. I don't know. It's basically, which is good that I don't know it. Because if I did find out that that's what happened, then I would be paying a visit to him. But I was really worried. Anyway, it was another 12 hours, nearly 24 hours before accident and emergency, A&E. Used to be called casualty, the casualty department. Now A&E is the accident and emergency. I don't know why. There's all these different, I know in America it's ER, the emergency room, and probably different names in different countries. Very strange. No, not that, but his situation. 12 hours later, 24 hours before he was back. But he was starting to get back, probably by about 5 or 6 hours later, because he started to be naughty again. But yeah, I think it was more traumatic for me than for him, because he was out of it, and I really, really thought I was going to lose him, but I didn't, which is good. In Australia, we just say emergency room, so you don't say ER, because America are very lazy. ER. I need to go to the The what? The ER. I think it's a lot of things, like in England, right? When I was a kid, pharmacies used to be called chemists. Now they're pharmacists, or pharmacies. But they used to be called chemists. I don't know why that changed or when it changed, but gradually, in the same way that Snicker bars used to be called marathons. Why they changed it, I don't know, because I don't think it would have made any difference. You say chemist in Australia. Well, the thing is, Australia is very close to England, isn't it? With the setup, because so many English people went to Australia from England in 50s and 60s and whatever, then a lot of the stuff set over there. It's like it's also in New Zealand, and it's almost like England but with better weather apparently. So there's a lot of but there's a lot of slang as well though, isn't it? A lot of slang words in Australia, like the slang word for drinking alcohol, for beer. Exactly. And you live in the UK. Ooh, it's almost so it's just old. Yeah, there is. It's the same as in America. Like we got, I think America have retained some of the older words that we used to use. So I joke about it, like why are they using a different word? But I think in some instances it's England that are using a different word, and America are sticking to the original words. Because, of course, America was run by England for quite some time, you know, in the early days. So, you know, the government, they were governed by England, by the whatever, where we are here. Am I the only lazy American? No, Americans aren't lazy. Americans are lovely. I want to go to America, so I don't want to annoy everybody. I want to visit one day. I'd like to go to Arizona. I'd like to go to Los Angeles. Quite like to go to Phoenix. But the reason for Phoenix is because Milton H. Erickson, who is the Bruce Lee of hypnosis, is he was there, and there's a school and museum about him and stuff. I think Boston's a place I quite like to go. So I'd like to enter New York. I'd like to enter Phoenix. I'd like to enter Los Angeles, and I'd like to enter Boston. So I don't know what it'd be like entering Phoenix, because it's very hot weather. New York can be really cold in the winter, can't it? So entering New York, I don't know what it'd be like entering Boston. I'd like to go to the Cheers bar, where You've not been to the US? No. What are you talking about? What's everyone saying I'm naughty for? What? Have you had snow? Yeah, we had some snow ash last weekend, and it snowed proper snowed, and then it turned to ice, and then overnight it all disappeared. Did Boston? Were you not here for a little while? I was just saying how I'd love to visit different places. Yes. The snow. I was actually outside my the main front door to the building, trying to break the ice with a broomstick, thinking, I hope people don't fall and slip, or slip and fall. Probably would be the order of that. You wouldn't fall over then slip, would you? Unless you were trying to get up for falling over. Yeah, but I was trying to break the ice, and it was so thick. I was trying to break the ice by saying, so, you come here often? All the weather's been cold, isn't it? You know, trying to break the ice. Dun, dun. And I couldn't. Well, I could, but it was quite hard, so I left it. And then, the next day, woke up, gone. Heidi, Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to. Oh, I don't know. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I just realised if you're listening on the podcast, you can't see the screen of the video, and you can't see what people are writing. So yeah, sorry about that. I should read them out really, for the sake of the podcast, but I forgot. Oh well, sorry. I'll try and read them out in future. So Heidi says, "What is this man thinking when he laughs that naughty? He's so handsome and sexy." Boston says, "Please change your socks, Jason. I can smell them from here." Ash says, "That's the beauty of it. Get them on the video." And I also love cheese. Heidi says, I'm getting wet. I'm getting so wet. It's raining, you see. I'm getting so wet in the rain. Perhaps I'll come back inside. Boston says, "Okay, guys, I've got to get back to work." Heidi says, "Liar." Heidi says, "Bye, Boston." Jason says, "Bye, Boston." Boston's still watching. And Heidi says, "Waha." And Boston says, "Later, alligator, wild crocodile." And Jason says, "Come on." And Boston says, "Lol, Jay." And Kanye West says, "What did you say about my wife?" And I'm just wondering where he came from. Heidi's listening, watching. I'll stop now, this is a bit too fast. Imagine someone's like starting to fall asleep and suddenly I'm talking really quickly. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's for tongue action. Do 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 do. Funny thing is, you could trick all the listeners. I could, Ash. That's the thing. I do make stuff up. I'll be honest. And Heidi says I'm hilarious. Thank you. Yep. Still waiting for those pictures. I'm hilarious until I'm not. So yeah, this is. Oh, by the way, for those of you listening, watching rather on Facebook, weren't here at the very beginning when I introduced this as the 600th episode of Let Me Bore You to Sleep. 600 episodes. This is number 600. 600. You say, even if you say it quickly, it's still a lot. That's a lot of me talking absolute rubbish. 600. Everyone's gone quiet now. Come on. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Ash. And Heidi, thank you. 600. See, I can't believe I did more than 30, if I'm honest. 30 is usually my kind of cut-off point where I start getting bored. Heidi, 600 more. Blimey. Do you want to wish that on me? Another 600. Oh. I thought about calling it a day when I got to 300. Congratulations, says Rachel. Thank you. Yeah, she says, I'm interested. We do a podcast episode. Interested? Nope. Jenny, I think you're very clever. Thank you, Jenny. Ash, I don't. As far as doing a podcast together, I'm running. How many podcasts have I got? I've got a lot of podcasts that I do. What I would suggest is just find something that you are interested in and just start a podcast. It has to be something that you're interested in. I think the same as if you're going to start a business. If you're not interested in it, it's going to be a struggle. Jenny, thank you. I think you're very clever. I'm going to repeat that because it's a very nice thing. Thank you. Oh no, you think you're very clever. Oh no, oh no, thank you, Jenny. Sorry. Ash, if you're going to do, or anyone else is interested in doing podcasts, find something that you're passionate about, because if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. I might, he says, I mean interview type thing for fun. I don't do this for fun. Ugh. Now, maybe in the future, I'm thinking, I might do the occasional interview, maybe on here. The only problem with me is, because Ash says I like hearing people's stories, I don't know if I've really got the natural interest within me to interview someone. I don't know if I can pretend to be interested for an hour or half an hour in someone. Jenny says, I like true crime. They are very popular. Very popular. Yeah, my personal things I like to listen to is like personal development podcasts or albums and stuff. So on Spotify, I listen to albums as well, music, but I like to listen to Earl Nightingale is my number one and my number two. I love Earl Nightingale. He's amazing. Ash says, why do the live shows if you're not interested in others? I didn't say I'm not interested. I don't know if I could hold that interest on one individual person for like us. Because don't forget, I'm talking about myself. Can't do that in an interview, can you? An interview is about getting the other person to talk about themselves, and I don't know if I have the skill for that. I have interviewed. I interviewed a hypnotist called Edini a couple of years ago, and that's the only interview that I've done. And I don't think it went very well. So Ash says, I'd interview you, don't ask me anything. Yeah, actually, it could be a weird one, couldn't it? Like, interview me. I could talk about myself. Mind you, what surprises me sometimes is when people ask me questions about me. I know it's because they're interested and perhaps want to get to know me and stuff. But I've kind of said everything. You know, it's 600 hours, probably 700 hours of me talking about myself. Now, you're not going to get that. Blimey, you're not really going to get that anywhere, are you? Who talks about themselves for 600 hours or 700 hours? Egotistical maniac, that's what. Oh, that's rude. How dare you say that about me? Dribbling. Me, obviously. Yep, me. See, I prefer to talk about myself. Why am I telling you that? You know that anyway, obviously. No one, right, I don't think there's anybody on the planet could force themselves to talk for an hour a day, pretty much every day, without wanting to do it. you know. So I've got a couple of messages there. I better read them out. Heidi said, obviously, thank you. You're definitely unique. A eunuch. I'm not a eunuch. Ash says, I'd be like a summary, like a preview to get people interested. Gift of the gab. Yep. I don't know. I think the Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcasts have gone in a different direction to what I expected them to go. And even though, I mean, they're not unpopular, but they're not the most popular podcast I have. But I get the most feedback from them. So I'll give you an example. See, stats time. Yeah, stats. Let's have a look. What have I done today so far? Blimey. I've not even reached 4,000 yet today. Anyway, let's have a look. So, 2,635,000 downloads so far since November 2018. This podcast, I've had 230,860 downloads. Rachel's talking about today. Yeah, I am. I'm just mentioning. See, right. I spoke to my dad yesterday. He phoned me up, and he asked me how I am. Now, I've got two things I can talk about. Well, there's only one thing I can really talk about, and that's what I do, which is this. I'm running quite a few different podcasts, four or five that I work on. Yeah, so this is just another podcast I do. The others, it's not just another one. This is more personal, obviously, because I talk about myself. But the others, in some ways, are possibly more important because they deal with stress and anxiety, and I don't know. It's hard to know, but yeah, my dad was saying, how are things? So I ended up talking about coronavirus and, you know, that kind of stuff, because I know that he's got no interest in any of this stuff that I do. Yet this is my life. This is the only thing I'm interested in. So it's kind of a weird one, really. It's weird. It's just, I can't talk to him about the stats. I can't talk to him about. No, my dad doesn't live near me, Ash. So he's not interested in anything I do here. So if I don't talk about this or about that kind of stuff, then I'm talking about other things that perhaps are a little bit negative, you know, which I don't really want to talk about generally. I rarely talk about that. I rarely use the C word or talk about the C word in my podcasts, because I think it's nice to have a break from that stuff. You don't need me for that. You can just turn the TV or the radio or the internet on. Turn the internet on. Heidi says, Jenny, I like true crime too, but when they start telling about... Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's... It's a funny moment. I just read it. Jenny, I like true crime... Jenny, I like true crime too, but when they start telling about how the killer loved true crime and had no friends. Great. It's funny. I suppose I spend so much time making podcasts that I don't have I suppose I'm probably don't listen to them as much as I would do if I wasn't making them. I definitely don't listen to my own, because that would be sad. Would that be sad? I think it would. How do you find the light in here? Because I've got a light up there, I've got a light over there, and I've got a special light there, which is... Oh, that might be a bit better as well. But the punch bag's covering half of it. So, what have I got? The most popular podcast. Thank you. Thank you for the light is good. Brilliant, thanks. The most popular podcast out of all of mine is the Relaxation Hypnosis for Stress and Anxiety, and it's 557,160. So I'm over the 500,000 for that one, which is good. The next most popular is Hypnosis for Sleeping Deeply, 547,036. So that's again over the 500,000. And the third most popular is Sleep Insomnia Hypnosis at 506,913. Again, over the 500,000. So I've got 3 podcasts over the 500,000, which I'm very pleased about. And the fourth most popular is Deep Sleep Whisper at 317,699. And then, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 5th most popular is the Let Me Bore You to Sleep. No stats. I'm telling the stats. I don't care, Ash. I'm telling. In fact, I'm gonna go in deep into the stats by town and village. Not really. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how. There's still work to do. There's so much work to do. I've got a long way to go before it's where I want it to be. Yes, a long way. So, yeah, I'm looking, Ash, it's not about popularity, about who is the most keen. See, I gotta be a little bit. I don't want to sort of be negative towards the other podcast listeners, because first of all, there's certain reasons why I'm stuttering again. Why some people might not reach out. There can be. Not everyone's comfortable. Rachel says you're doing a great job, especially considering you're a one-man band. Well, thank you. Not everybody is comfortable contacting or leaving a comment or anything on a podcast that's about anxiety or stress or panic, something personal like that. Or even insomnia. Some people are very private, and they'll listen to the podcast because it may be useful, but they don't want to broadcast the fact that they're listening to the world or to someone that might find out. So that's fine. What I don't get though is, actually, it's not so much I'm right or wrong. It's just you're not wrong, or it's not right or wrong in this situation. It's a guessing game. It really is a guessing game, because I don't know. There's no way, unless 10,000 people that listen to me regularly, let's say 10,000. It might be more, might be less. That regularly listen over a week or over a month. Might be 20,000 people over a month, individual people. unless I got feedback from each person telling me, you know, I listened for this reason, or I got feedback every time someone listened and maybe listening and left because they didn't like the podcast, or they, you know, or they, whatever. That's the only way that we could really know for sure. All I can hold on to is I wouldn't be getting thousands of people listening every day if I wasn't doing something right. So I must be doing something right, you know, because it's not let's say 4,000 or 5,000 people every day come in and then leaving forever because people come back. So something's going right. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. And to reach 2.6 million downloads and streams or whatever, someone's listening. Someone's somewhere. So Jenny says, well, you put me to sleep and sometimes you make me laugh out loud, which is a very difficult thing to do. Really? Jenny? Wow. There's a competition now between you and Heidi. Who's going to get my heart? Mind you, I think the amount of burgers I've eaten, I reckon my heart's big enough to probably feed a whole family. Oh, it's really nice, thank you. See, I have a soft spot for the Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcast. I do. I'll be honest, I do. I've got a very soft spot for it, and it would be I think it'd be quite difficult for me to give it up because of, I guess there's a benefit for me. I get to just talk about stuff. And also I've met some people, and I get the most positive feedback from this podcast, although I don't get much feedback really, generally. Ash says you've done stand-up in your 20s. I did it for 7 years, from 1991 January, I think it was January the 23rd, or was it 16th? I think it was 23rd January, a Wednesday anyway. And 1991 until my last gig was January 1998. And I didn't quit, I was just taking a rest because I was doing DJing, I was having a lot of fun, and also there was other stuff going on in my life which I just needed to deal with, you know, a lot of personal stuff. So that's why. So I didn't stop, Ash. I just that's why a bit of advice I would give as an old man that I am to any, not necessarily young people, but I think of it in a sense of young people, but as I got older I realised that dreams and wanting, wow, Heidi says, I fall asleep easily for the first time in 4 years thanks to Jason. That's great. Thanks, Heidi. That's lovely. I'm glad that me telling my interests and stories can send you to sleep. Me talking all about my interest in life can send you to sleep. A bit of a cough. I think my advice would be, and I knew this from an early age, and I tried to keep going, is it's so easy to get distracted from what you want in life. And I think it's easier when you're younger. And the reason for that is because, especially when I was in my early 20s, I hadn't had a lot of dating really up to that point. I had a few girlfriends, but that was when there was so much to do. There was so much out there. So when you leave school, and I didn't really have that period of going to nightclubs and girlfriends and stuff. It was a bit of a grotty sort of part of my life. But moving to London to do stand-up comedy, I kept focused, but I did get distracted at the same time. So Heidi says, I listen again in the morning to see how the end goes. The story ends. Normally ends with a fart. An Andre fart, not mine, of course, because I would never do such a thing. I can see, I used to think, give that advice to young people, but even at my age, I can see how easily it is to get distracted from your goal. I think the problem with my goal is it's so vague, in a sense. Heidi, Jenny, Heidi, how Heidi, oh, cool. They're talking to each other. Sorry for interrupting. Just doing a live broadcast. So no, Ash says, my area open? Nothing's open. We're in lockdown. Complete lockdown. And there's, the thing is, what am I talking about? Yeah, distractions. If, I don't think it's a case of necessarily you have to put everything into one thing and, not do anything else, but it depends how far you want to go. And I've studied quite a few successful people. A lot of them are sports people, to be fair, but they've all got one thing in common, is they devoted their life to what they did. And they devoted everything, especially when they were young. Like every successful tennis player, snooker player, some of them devoted their whole childhood practically to studying and to do what they're doing. Boxers, they start like 6, 7 years old, and it's. See, I'm none of those things, obviously, but there's always distractions, more distractions now for me than there ever was when I was younger because of the internet. So when I was doing stand-up in the early 90s, I didn't have any money. I couldn't go out nightclubbing. I couldn't go out drinking, really, apart from every now and then. But now, if I'd have had the internet back then, apart from phone call, my phone's supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. I have to bring this to an end anyway, because it's the battery's running out. So thank you everyone for listening. Take care of yourselves, and I will post the podcast, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.